Okay, welcome everyone. We're going to go ahead and get started. Today we're going to be talking about Microsoft Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. So I think our approach today is going to be just talking about the basics of Office, and then we'll go through and do a demo of a few tips and tricks that we've gathered. And if anybody has anything as we kind of go through, please feel free to unmute your microphone and chime in, or you can use the group chat. We are monitoring that. Leah Kesters is also on the call with us. So just a couple housekeeping tips. If you have audio or video issues during the webinar, please try just to refresh your browser. That typically takes care of most of the issues. And this presentation is being recorded and it will be available after the broadcast. You just have to go to www.tomtechtoday.com/freestuff/webinars. So the first thing that we want to talk about is what is Office 365 for Business. So basically it is a subscription service that is available in monthly installments or yearly. If you choose to do the business premium, there is a free trial available for 1 month. And these are kind of the standard applications that are included. So your basic Outlook, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Access, and then the services included are Exchange, OneDrive, SharePoint, and Teams. So I know there's always a lot of confusion of what's the difference between Office 365 suites and Office 2019 plans. So to be honest, there's really no difference. Office 365 suite is basically a subscription service that includes everything. So it's got all the different applications included, and it kind of just depends which level of package for which applications are going to be included. But then that also includes all the different updates. Office 2019 is a one-time purchase, and then you have to pay for the updates separately from that. And to also add a little bit of confusion, there's also Microsoft 365, which includes Windows 10 and also some security endpoint as well as an Office subscription. So a lot of times we hear the question, can people with earlier versions of Office open documents that you created using Office 2019? The answer is yes. Anyone using Office 365, 2016, 2013, or 2010 can open those documents without needing any additional support. So there is an online version, and then there's also the desktop version. So to sign in, just go to office.com/sign-in. You'll choose OneDrive, and from there you'll have the different applications listed, and you're able to create your document within your browser. Same is true for saving. So you're going to be using OneDrive, and then your files will be saved out there, and it looks exactly the same as what it does on your Windows desktop. The nice part is you are able to collaborate with others, so you can share your document, and we'll take a look at that once we get into that different applications. And then there are colored flags that will show you the initials of another person that is also editing the document along with their picture if they have one in there. And then it also tells you where they are within the document. So let's say, for example, you're writing a status report in Word and it's 10 pages long. So let's say I'm on page 5, it'll have, like, I'm in pink, and it'll have a little flag with my name next to it letting people know I'm on page 5. Same is true for Leah. She's on page 7 in a certain section, and it'll have a picture of her as well. So you are able to install on your mobile apps if you're using the Office 365 subscription. So, and that works for iOS, Android, and Windows devices. So just a little bit of history of Word. So in 1981 is when Microsoft hired a developer to begin creating this word processing system. And then in 1983 is when it actually went live. And you are more than welcome to read through this whole wiki article if you want on the recorded presentation. Excel, it is a, basically it's a tool to analyze and manipulate your data. So there are, just a fun fact, there are over 2 billion cells within Excel within the latest version. And then PowerPoint is a presentation tool. It was released in 1987, and we'll talk through that a little bit. So we're going to go through and do a little bit of a demo. Additional resources for you are Microsoft has quick starts. So if you go under their help menu, you're able to access the quick start. There are also tips and templates that are available from portal.office.com. And then from Tomorrow's Technology Today, we do these webinars every other Wednesday from 1 to 2. We also have a newsletter where I write an article about a Microsoft product. We have training sessions available. We have office hours that you're able to schedule some time with me if you have questions about a specific Microsoft product. And then we also have YouTube and our website that has the webinars recorded, and we also like to throw out tips and tricks. So anything that you want to see, please feel free to shoot me an email at kkramer@ttechT.com, and I am happy to put something together and get it out there for you. So now we're going to take a look at the individual apps. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to create just a basic flyer for an open house. It's one of my favorite things that a lot of businesses do. So just so that we have something that we can kind of manipulate, and since this is fake, we're just going to put it in the past. And let's see, we'll put the location in here. And we'll just put a little description. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to take a look at is the keyboard shortcuts for cut, copy, and paste. So this is something very universal within a lot of different applications. So if I want to take the date, I'm just going to highlight that text, and I'm going to do Control X on my keyboard. And I'm going to come down here, and right below the description, I'm going to do a Control V, and that's going to paste that text right underneath the description. And as you can see, now it's removed from up at the top, and now it's at the bottom part of my page. For Tomorrow's Technology Today, I'm going to grab that text and I'm going to do a Control C. I'm going to add a little extra space in here, and I'm going to do Control V, and that's going to copy the text. So again, for cut, it's Control X, copy is Control C, and paste is Control V. Next thing we're going to talk about is zooming in and out to save your eyes a little bit, or if you finish your flyer and you want to take a full look at the whole thing, you can zoom in and out using the scroll bar down at the bottom. There are also the different layouts that you can do. So right now we're using a print layout, which shows our margins and then all the different menus in the ribbon. Or you can also go into read mode, and that takes all of the ribbon out as well as the margins, and it only shows your text, so you can really focus on what you're working on. So to delete words at one time or select words in multiple areas. So to do this, this is pretty handy, I think. So if you just want to select one word, you're just going to double click in front of that word, and that's going to highlight it. If I want to grab this whole line, or if it's a sentence, I'm going to clear that out to start with, and then I'm going to triple click, and that's going to grab the whole line. That's a huge time saver for me. The other thing that you can do, so once I have that, if I hit the control button, I'm able to do the same thing down here. And then if I need to update Tomorrow's Technology Today, like blue is one of our corporate colors, and I want to change them both to blue, I'm able to do that real easy right here. Now let's say that I want to remove that formatting. I'm going to click on the Styles button, and down here at the bottom, we're going to do Clear Formatting, and that's going to take it off. So we also have Smart Lookup to search the internet. So again, I'm going to triple click in front of Tomorrow's Technology Today, and then I'm going to right click and do a Smart Lookup. Over here on the right hand side of my screen, there's going to be a search box, and as you can see in the search bar, it already has Tomorrow's Technology Today in there. And this works the same way as Windows 10, so they're really getting consistent with their products, which is really nice. So we have all, then we have files, and this is going to be any files that I have access to that have that in there. And we have web, so here's our website. We also have pictures, but this is going to be not things necessarily that are just to Tomorrow's Technology Today that's located in St. Henry, Ohio. This could be for anything, but I'm just going to grab one of these pictures, and insert it in here. Just very easy to do. Just click the plus, and I'm going to click on the picture and use these little circles to make it just a little bit smaller. So that's something that's new within the last couple of years from Microsoft, and I think that's really helpful to have. Good to know that it's there. So you know too how we go through all of these updates every few years with Microsoft products. So and they like to tend to move things around. Like we didn't used to have all these different menus and the ribbon and all those kinds of things. So now they've kind of simplified it a little bit. So I can go up here to the search bar, and if I want to say increase my font size, I'm able to put that in here, and it's so smart. It already knows some different options of what I would want to do. So I'm going to use this one, and I'm just going to click on 12, and that's going to make the text that I had highlighted just a little bit bigger. So also on our flyer, I want to insert a link to our website. So I'm just going to drop it down a line. And there are a few different ways to do this. You can either use insert up at the top of the ribbon and go to links, and you can link from there. And you are able to link within a document, or you can use a website. So for this example, I'm going to use a website. So I'm going to go over here to browse the web. And I'm going to bring my screen over so you can see it. And I'm just going to go to our website. And now if I go back to our document, it went out and it found this address. And then up at the top, I'm able to do multiple clicks, and I will be able to edit what the text is going to display for that link. So I'm going to click OK. And now if I hover over it, you're going to see that it's going to take me out to this website. And all I have to do is hit Control on my keyboard and click on the link, and that's going to take me back out to our website. So like I mentioned, it is very easy to share your documents. So if I go up here to share, and I want to share this with someone, I have a couple different options. So I can share it from OneDrive, or I can also just attach a copy of it. And naming it document 1 is fine. And now you have a few different options for permissions. So anybody within our company can edit the link, or I'm also able to drop that down and I can give specific people access. And they have to have the link to do this. So I'm just going to send this over to Leah and hit send. And then when Leah receives the email, she's going to just have a link that she's able to use and be able to get out to that message. So a lot of people get confused too there's an option for save as or save a copy. So just to kind of clarify on that, so you are able to do the save as that we've always known and loved. If you save copy as, that is actually going to save a copy of it. So now you're going to have two different versions of your Office document. So that's kind of throwing a lot of people off. That's something new, and it's very tricky since the words are so close. So we're also going to go through and do a mail merge. So I'm just going to go to blank document, go over here to mailings, and it actually takes you through this nice little wizard. So let's just select envelopes, and we'll just stick with the size 10. That sounds good, but you're welcome to change it to whatever envelope size that you have. So now it changed the formatting of my screen. So now it's the shape of an envelope. And down here at the bottom, you'll see that it gives you this box. So just like a regular envelope, this is where I'm going to put my mailing address. And I am going to select recipients from my Outlook contacts. And here it just kind of gives you a list of all of your Outlook contacts. So I'm just going to do the ones that actually have a street address with them. So now these options that were just grayed out, we're going to be able to add those. So I'm just going to select the address block. And this looks good to me. It's got the name, it's got the street address, and it's got the city, state, and zip. And I'm going to select Finish and Merge and click OK. And now I have all three of my contacts that I had the street address in there for are all within there. And then I'm also able, if I want to put like our mailing address up at the top for the return address, I'm able to just edit it right on the first envelope. So pretty easy to use. And you're also able to bring in your contacts from Excel if you have everybody listed in there. It's also very easy to use, and then you can select all of them, or you can just go through and pick and choose whoever you want to send a letter to. So that's it on Word. Now we're going to take a look at Excel. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to look at in Excel is conditional formatting. So conditional formatting is a feature which allows you to apply a format to a cell or a range of cell or a range of cells based on the criteria. So I'm just going to grab a couple of these cells down at the bottom, and this is so easy to do. We're just on the Home tab, and you go to conditional formatting, and let's just do the highlight, and we'll do greater than, and let's grab anything that's higher than 15, let's say. And then we already have, there are a couple pre-populated formats, or if you want to do a custom format, you can do that too. Just click on here and you're able to do it however you want. So let's just fill these in with blue and we'll click OK. And now you can see anything over 15 within this range of cells that I selected has been formatted. And if I want to clear that, I just go back to the conditional formatting menu and I'm going to clear the rules. And I can do it either for the selection or for the whole sheet. So moving on to pivot tables. So pivot tables are used to summarize, sort, reorganize, group, count, total, or average data stored within a certain database. So it allows you to transform columns into rows and rows into columns. So it's really however you want to look at it. And it allows the grouping by any data field. So most importantly to note, so if you have just a list of data that, you know, when we first started out, this had just the different dates in it, the buyer, the type, and the amount that they spent. So we just use this format as a table and just select an option, and it'll ask you if your data has headers. We said yes, so that automatically gave us the filters at the top. So we're going to go through and we're just going to select some data and select pivot table. And this table is called table 2. So as you can see, it's highlighted. We'll click OK. Oops, sorry about that. I about put my pivot table over my document. And we'll just put it within the same spreadsheet. We'll click OK. So then over here on the right hand side, this is your field list. So we can just drop in a few different ways that we want to look at this. So if we select buyer and the amount, and that's just going to kind of summarize everything that we have in this list over here. And if I want to see by type, I'm able to tell who spent what. I can also add in the date. And there are a couple different ways that you can really, if you just play around with the field list over here, you're able to lay it out however you want. So now I currently have it displayed and it shows by month, or actually by day, who spent what amount on what category or what type. It kind of shows a little bit more. A lot of detail in here, and there are a lot of different options. It's kind of one of those things that you just play with it and get it to look how you want. You can filter, you can sort however you want to do it. So if I want to put the filter on right above it, I can select the buyers. Right now it's selected for all. So I'm going to select multiple items, and I just want to see between dad and mom what the spending totals were. So now this kind of gives a snapshot of what they spent combined on all these different types. So if I want to delete my pivot table, I can also just hit select and we'll say entire pivot table and just hit delete, and that's it, it's gone. And I'm just going to clear off my conditional formatting. And so in this example, so here you can see that I used a formula to come up with my 12 down here in row 12. So if I want to make a copy of these cells, I can just do my copy. And over here I have the option for paste special. So here are all the different ways that you can paste your document. So if I want to keep that formula, all I have to do is just click that little radio button next to formula, and I'll still know 11 plus 1 over here is how we got to 12. If I just want to do the values and I don't care about that formula, I can do that as well. So if I hit values, now when I highlight that 12, it only shows me the 12. So kind of just a handy little tool. It's something that you can do between applications. Like this morning I was going through creating reports and I was using a tool to dump everything into Excel, and I was using Excel to manipulate it, had it all formatted the way that I want. I used the format as a table, and then I took all the data and I copied it over and pasted it into Word, but I had to make sure that I took the formatting and everything along with it. So that's what I used to do that. Another little handy trick, if you need to add more rows to whatever you're working on, or if you need to add something in between, all you have to do is single click on whatever area you want to add to. And if you right click, you can do insert, and that's just going to drop it down and add another row so you can add more data to it. So now if I need to go through and I need to update my list over here, like if I go through and just add a few more rows, hit insert, I can also use flash fill, and that's going to update my rows. So when flash fill is available, you're going to have this little icon over here. Just grab the little box down at the bottom right, and you can take that, and as you can see, as I'm scrolling down, it's updating. It knows that I want to do 1 through 20. Same is true for your months. So I have all these months up here. I can drag this out and I can go through the end of the year, go into next year, whatever I need to do. So something else that we want to talk about is the printing, because it can be pretty interesting in Excel. So if you go up to File and go to Print, and as you go through your settings, you can tell what you want to select. So right now it's going to come out pretty nasty looking. If you look over here at the print preview, it's just kind of all over the place. So if I just want to print those first couple columns, I'm just going to do print selection. And since I had all that data highlighted, it's only going to print that section. Kind of something that gets confusing a little bit sometimes. So just wanted to share that. And again, also sharing, if you want to share, it's the same as Microsoft Word. Just go up here to the share button and you're able to share out your document with anybody. So that's it for Excel. And PowerPoint. So we're just going to talk a little bit about PowerPoint. There's not a whole lot to demo, but we will talk about the different parts of it. So when you first open PowerPoint, it's always going to be horizontal. This is landscape orientation. It can't be changed. You can't flip back and forth between portrait and landscape. Just kind of a good practice is to limit your bullet points in text. A lot of people think that they need to tell their whole story within PowerPoint, but that's not really what it was meant for. It's mostly used for those bullet points that truly are just to the point that that you're trying to make. You also want to limit the transitions and the builds. PowerPoint wasn't really intended to be this over complicated tool. It's something that a lot of users, just use to share their message. You do want to use high quality graphics when you're creating your PowerPoint, especially with all of these fancy TVs that are out there now when you're displaying. It's very important. Have a visual theme, but you also might want to avoid using the PowerPoint templates. So PowerPoint does a nice job that they do give you different templates. So when you first go to create a document, it'll give you different themes and templates that you can use. But I don't know, I guess it's kind of just a good rule of thumb if you want to stand out from the crowd, so you're kind of using your own thing. This design ideas, this is something that I really love because I'm not like that creative thinker. I guess I have more of that technical mindset, but this kind of gives you just different layouts as you go through and build your presentation. This is something that I always like to use. So, and again, just make sure to use color well and choose your fonts well. Those are just kind of tips and tricks that we learned from people who do a lot of presentations. So I just wanted to pass that along to you guys. And that's all that we have for today. So thank you so much for joining us. And if you have any questions or anything that you want to talk about, please feel free to reach out. My email address is ktkramer@ttechT.com, or give us a call at the office at 419-678-4600. Thanks so much, and we'll catch you guys soon.